In-game live with you all here on a Friday night. It's Kevin Walsh. It's Gabriel Morency. We are on SportsGrid, and man, it is it's incredible because sometimes we're getting ready to roll, and then Gabe says something I never in a million years thought he was going to say. It's not important, but it just kind of keeps me on my toes for what we've got going on here on the show. Plenty of baseball, WNBA, CFL, and I think people still coming down, Gabe, from not just the NFL game, but the most electric preseason game we've seen.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like the term best ever. It's tossed around, far too loosely in today's society, but I can't really recall a preseason game that was better than that. Like, it was absolute theater, absolute drama. Carson Beck, puts a clinic on in the first half, and Haynes King says, "Hold my beer," and goes full Haynes King, Kevin, for the win, actually, like even runs it in for the touchdown as the clock expires. And I've never seen a reaction from teammates from winning the Hall of Fame game like Carolina last night either. Yeah. Great. It was a fun football game. And let's give credit to Haynes King. Let's give credit to Slow. Let's give credit to both offenses for entertaining, and both coaches for not just showing up, Kevin. They showed up and entertained, actually. Hopefully other teams take note moving forward.
They did. However, there's two sides to every coin, and Gabe's glowing review is in part because he was on Carolina, great pick, and I was on Arizona, +1.5. That field goal would have been my favorite decision in the history of football. I thought they were going to kick it and play for the tie, because why not? And I don't know.
I had the money line too, Kevin, and I didn't think they were going to score a touchdown, so I was justifying it as well. I was like, you got to get your field goal kicker some work in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let's see the special teams. No, I was justifying it, Kevin.
I love that.
It was like 3rd and 10 on the 27, and I was like, you're not a wuss if you do this, bro. Like, I was sort of like, tie the game. It's been a great game. There's still a minute left. We're going to kick the ball off. Let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. And you just drop after. I wanted to get my special teams unit in there in a critical situation.
Yeah.
But Haynes King just kept making plays.
It wouldn't stop, man. It wouldn't stop. And that was after multiple buzzer beaters to lose the Indiana Fever money line. Look, I won't say yesterday was my favorite day of betting I've ever had, Gabe. I'll be honest with you.
That football game feels like it was 2 years ago to me, Kevin, because I got involved last night after as well. And I don't even want to talk about it. It's one of those type of deals that I thought I would never, ever bring up. But I'll just say this. The Minnesota Lynx are never winning anything. Right? That team sucks. That team sucks.
I assumed it was going to be tempo related, and it was a good zag by you. I was positive it was going to be the tempo.
I agree with Cheryl Reeves. Terrible. Said my team is terrible. They are terrible. Collier doesn't look the same post-injury to me either. Kept on getting like a shot blocked by Cameron Brink. And let's just say I hopped in game when the Lynx, and I got fooled by the book as well. This is a topic, we get into later or whatever, but I'm telling you guys, there's never been an era or time when the sports books are as ahead of us as they are right now. And I've been hit a couple of times. And last night I put an overnight soccer bet in a game. It took my bet, and then literally 0.1 seconds later, they scored. You guys already knew they scored.
Yeah.
You already knew they scored.
Yeah.
Right? But you took my bet. And it's happened to me. It happened to me in a WNBA game last night where I clicked it, and it accepted it. It spun, and it popped up a number that I didn't agree to. I didn't agree to it. You know what I mean? Like,
usually it says... It says, these
number
odds changed. Yep. Yeah.
And you see, just, when we sort of get a laugh out of it about, oh, look, I'm a couple of seconds ahead of you. Yeah. Well, dude, I'm behind the book. Mm-hmm. Like, you're literally like a minute and a half behind the book almost. How the hell are you supposed to bet live in-game and expect to win when you're not live.
It's a big reason why a lot of my bets are at halftime of games. Like sometimes the end of a quarter is not even long enough because when I think the quarter ended, it's been over for 2 minutes. So by the time I'm ready to make my decision,
up, Kevin. Like even
back.
Not even a basket. Like they know the player already missed the shot, like in a basketball game.
Oh yeah,
they already know. So we're betting. The Sixers have the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take over 211.5 in game now. It's like, now the Sixers don't really have the ball anymore. They shot the ball like 12 seconds ago in the real world, and they know it, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I know. I've lived right next to stadiums, guys. It's like, it's alarming. Like, and it used to really, really annoy me, Kevin. I live right next door to the Whitecaps, to BC Place.
Mm-hmm.
It ruined the game for me.
Oh, you would hear it, yeah.
Like I'm watching the game and I'd hear boom, pop, and I'd be like a goal. But then I'd be like, it was like 16 seconds later, man. Like I'm starting to realize like it's not 7 seconds or like 3 seconds anymore and stuff. And in this modern 5G, 6G, 7G AI stuff, these sports books have billions of dollars to invest in their technology to be quick.
Yep.
You're hoping for Infinity's internet to work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just stating. I think it's a good point. Like, it's a good topic, Kevin, about betting at commercial breaks, right? Betting at commercial breaks, betting at the half. You know what I mean? Just show that patience. Get to the commercial break so at least you know play is stopped. I'm not a technical foul or, somebody just scored and I don't know and I got the bet in. It's super frustrating, but it is what it is in the modern world. So, and if you are if you're a recreational bettor, whatever this stuff, like, but if you're a serious bettor that bets every day and bets volume every day, it's to the point where you really kind of do need to invest in the highest speed internet. You need to invest like in a better phone, right? Like I used to be just sort of, whatever, dude, it works. I get my bets in. You know what I mean? I'm not watching Star Wars on my phone, all right? I don't care. Well, your phone doesn't have much data. It's like, dude, I use it to put bets in. Yet I kind of realize now that you got to put bets in. You need as quick as modern technology as possible. Otherwise, you just can't win. If you're betting in-game, we're talking in-game. You just can't win.
Like I said, I mean, between Gabe and I know that I'm preaching to the choir. Like, the amount of in-game lives we've done is countless. And there's no better place to kind of get adjusted to, the rhythms of it all. And I have accepted the delay. And it's a big reason why a lot of times I like to wait to half because you get a ton of information. But it's also because I can't make my mind up, then figure out the best price. Most of us now have more than one sports book. By the time I find the best price, 4 things have happened, right? You guys would hear us during the World Cup. Those hydration breaks were a godsend. Listen, there's a lot of them I hated, but for the way we like to bet, those things were brilliant. I sneaky loved them, Gabe.
It happened to me at a soccer game this past Saturday.
Yeah.
You figure soccer would be the slowest moving, easiest sport to bet in game. I kept missing out, Kevin, live. I'd be like, like they'd be coming down the field. I think there's going to be a corner kick coming here. And it was like, I remember thinking, how are you guys ahead of me? I'm at the game. You know what I mean? I was sort of like, I had a couple of drinks. I was like, am I living in some weird vortex? Like my mind started to drift. I was looking at the book. I'm like, they seem to be ahead of me, but I'm actually sitting in the 6th row. Like Thomas Mueller's like right there. Like I'm like, is any of this real? Like you want to get philosophical, but yeah, it is. It's real.
We'll get all your picks on the way after the break, guys. right, guys, back to right here on SportsGrid. Let's put a couple of picks on the board. Baseball-wise, a couple of things got interrupted due to the weather. One place I'm betting, and I'm sure Gabe is as well, is the WNBA slate. And let me get the obvious out of the way. Angel Reese over 26.5 points plus rebounds. It almost feels as if she went under this number against the Aces to give us this opportunity here, guys. I don't know what, I understand she went over. By the way, she got to 24. She stayed in and hunted the double-double. She got in foul trouble against A'ja Wilson. There's nobody on the Washington Mystics who is A'ja Wilson, obviously. I think Angel Reese smashes. This is the cheapest number we've got since the All-Star break. I thought the party was going to be over, Gabe, but I'm on Angel Reese here tonight. And then I played an over in Mercury Sun. I like this spot here. Phoenix, road favorite with Kelsey Plum. I think the offense hums a little bit here against Connecticut. I didn't want to lay that big of a number with Phoenix, but I think it's the offense that we're going to see really shine for them with this Plum addition.
Yeah, let's start off with the Angel Reese and the Dream and the Mystics game. I'm telling you what, the Mystics have won 10 of their last 15 games outright. And they're the best defensive team along with Golden State right now, right? In the WNBA. They're incredibly tough to score on. Doesn't mean they're going to shut you down in every game. Oh, yeah, they're also the best ATS team in the WNBA. The Washington Mystics are now 18-11 against the spread, 62.1%. That betters Chicago at 18-13 at 58%. How about at home? 8-1 against the spread. Look the other day, Kevin. I mean, they came back the other day against Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. Again, right? All they do at home is find a way to win games. They play a lot of close games. And I don't really understand the number. It was 3.5, but it's 5.5 now. So I've got to pull the trigger with the best team ATS-wise in the WNBA. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the Atlanta Dream are 11-19 ATS on the season. They don't cover. And I get it. Like, it's a moderate, it's 5.5. You got to win by 6 on the road here. It's like, okay. I mean, guys, they played 30 games. They've covered 36.7% of the time only. And they're laying 5.5 against a team that's 10-5 that started off the season slow. That's 10-5 straight up in its last 15 games. That's 8-1 against the spread on their home court as an underdog. I mean, I've got to take the Mystics tonight. I'm starting to become a fan of this team, although check in with me in a couple hours and I'll let you know how much I still like them. So give me the Mystics plus 5.5. I can't disagree. Angel had an off night last night. She got in foul trouble. It was just one of those weird games. Plus, they were playing the Las Vegas Aces. Big bounce back spot tonight. I'm going right back to it, Kevin. Over 11.5 rebounds, plus 105. I'm getting plus money with Angel Reese to the over. And I'm not going to overthink things. Kelsey Plum. We're still getting value, Kevin, at 17.5 now. Kelsey's a 22, 23 point a night type player, right? In the real world. 24, 25 if she wants, whatever, even more. 27, you know what I'm saying? She's a pure scorer. Unlike Collier, who suddenly looks old and she has no jump. Like if I'm Minnesota, I don't even know if I want to pay Collier all this money suddenly. But she's just on fire, since she's come out. And she's only going to start to play more and more minutes, Kevin, as we go along. She surpassed this number in both games. What's been 20 and 19 in the minutes that she's played. She's had more practices, more time here. It's a square play, but give me Kelsey Plum over 17.5 points scored.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you in that I think that Mercury deal, we talk sometimes, Gabe, about just wanting to get like a locker room boost, and maybe no one needed it more than Phoenix. Now, usually you want to do it with a clean slate, because I don't know if they have enough time to get themselves into the postseason. It's very, very difficult. The Mystics are hot, like you've mentioned. The other team in danger is the Liberty. If the New York Liberty miss the playoffs, I don't even know what's going to happen. Listen, whether they were overvalued or not, guys, they were the preseason favorite to win the title. They fired the coach. In sports history, they fired her, Kevin. She didn't leave voluntarily in New York. I don't know if they didn't extend her, but yes, they definitely made the decision to move on from Brondello without a question. And it looks like it's going to be one and done for this new guy, to your point.
they've been they've been consistent underachievers. Yet they still have time to sort of right things. I don't think they're going to win the championship. But as far as Phoenix concerned with Kelsey Plum, I mean, really, Kevin, in the early days of the WNBA, Phoenix were kind of the model franchise. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, yeah, Phoenix Mercury and everyone else. Like, I think Diana Taurasi played for Phoenix, right? Brittany Griner, Phoenix. Right? It was like, yeah, Phoenix are the good NBA, WNBA team. Oh, they're really good there. They won championships. They had star players. In this modern WNBA, it's been a lot of drama there, right? A lot of drama. And I don't want to go down, some of the road, but there was, lawsuits, accusations of, sort of harassment. A lot of, sort of ugly stuff happened. And, they haven't been on track in a couple of years, right? That's why I thought she was a perfect fit. I didn't think a Golden State was going to bend over backwards, to bring her in. Or, she was already on Vegas. These other teams kind of already set. She's not going to Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't really, or New York. Oh, yeah, we're going to bring in Kelsey Plum. There wasn't really a lot of spots for. I kind of thought it was a Connecticut or a Phoenix, actually. And I think she's better off. She landed with Phoenix, and because Alyssa Thomas was starting to get upset there too, right? So maybe this will just sort of calm things down going into next year for them.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Late night, it's the Wings and the Valkyries. This goes.
That's a tough game. This one.
I notice I've been doing this a lot. You kind of joked about how the other day, like a lot of times your card is late night focused. I think a lot of times I'm trying to ignore the 9 p.m., 10 p.m. WNBA tip and either have confidence, Gabe, because I won some money in the early games to bet it, or pretend it doesn't exist at all. Quick break, guys. We come right back here. We're going to continue to go through it. This baseball board, a lot of weather here on the East Coast interrupting things. I know there's some soccer and, again, some CFL action. Gabe will have you covered. Okay, guys, back to right here on SportsGrid. Let's pop over. Well, let me ask you, Gabe, is any of this soccer you're betting tonight? It's like 7:30, kick here, anything coming up super quick?
No, you know what? I'm a little lost right now and gun shy as well, Kevin. I can't step up with confidence and tell anyone who I like between Atlas and Charlotte FC. Like, yeah. I don't know. These MLS League Cup games have been all over the place. There's been the teams that aren't supposed to win. They don't. They do. I was right about Club America last night, rolling San Diego. But I'll be more West Coast for me later. The Whitecaps actually, they're going to try to win tonight. Like they haven't won since the World Cup has come back. Like forget League's Cup or whatever. Like they need a win. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Even the coach said, he goes, I don't care what it is. Like we need a win now. Like yes, they asked like, can you still qualify for the League's Cup? And he goes, qualify. We need to win a game. Right. So they're very like the Dodgers, right? Who haven't won since the School Bowl trade. But I want to get on the Sports Trade soapbox here. Just for the record, I'm on the Red Sox, -1.5, only early action. I didn't bet the Angels-Marlins game. Didn't bet the Mets-Pirates game. Did you bet these games? And I'll get on my soapbox about this Red Sox-Athletics game.
All right. So, before you do that, I have a total coming up. This weather kind of wiped out a lot of my plans on the baseball board.
Including the Blue Jays and Phillies, which was a cool game coming up tonight. Soriano is about to make his debut against Wheeler.
Yeah, and I was really excited, Gabe, because I thought, listen, juice is in the eye of the beholder, obviously. Like, I know it doesn't scare off Gabe. There are spots where I'm happy about it. And there was basically, call it a -175 on one book for Zach Wheeler to go 6, which I loved, because in his last outing, he only went 2. There's a rain delay hit in the middle of the start. But then I saw the weather, and I started to get freaked out a little bit that this was going to happen to him again. And the expectation, the reason they've delayed this, obviously, is they think this will pass and he'll be able to throw a full game. But I'm a little on tilt about that one. Even in the Bronx, they're delayed game. I thought Max Fried was pretty interesting tonight. Whether it be Yankees money line or Fried strikeout prop against his old team, I was interested really in both of those options there. So this
what's
weather
the status?
hit me hard.
What's the status with the Bronx game? Because that's it's another big time series. The Braves and the Yankees.
Absolutely.
Right? You got Fried, former Brave, and you got Tyler Mahle set to make his Braves debut tonight. And Anthopoulos in Atlanta took some heat for not being more aggressive at the deadline. And one of the locals said, Tyler Mahle, that's it. And he sort of basically said, hey, let's see what he does with us, all right? He's not on he's not on other teams now. He's with the Braves. And I think Anthopoulos deserves a little bit of rope, but I understand the frustration. But so, listen, man, I don't care about these alternative jerseys and stuff. It is what it is, man. Like, I've got bigger things to get upset about. It's not the hill I'm going to die on. All right, the Red Sox do this green thing, right? All right, whatever, St. Patrick's Day or whatnot. But the Red Sox went all green and yellow against the Athletics. They look the exact same. It looks like an intra-squad scrimmage. I can't even tell who's who. Like, there was just a play, like, at the bag. It's like, this is very confusing, guys. Like, the Athletics have green sleeves, and the Red Sox have yellow sleeves today. But, like, it's almost like, some you guys really should have consulted about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not quite the football game, candy cane game, Kevin, with the Jets and the Bills, where colorblind people couldn't see. But like they gotta say, oh, by the way, we're gonna be decked out in green and yellow tonight, even though we're the Boston Red Sox and we're playing you guys who wear green and yellow. So you guys bring you guys wear your alternative or something. Like otherwise we're gonna look the same. It's gonna be confusing. There's my soapbox.
Wait, what's the purpose of these jerseys?
I don't know.
Well, no, because to your point, no.
I don't want to sound naive. Like, did they ever wear green? Like, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, not that I know of. You're the Boston Red Sox. So, like, it's like, oh, no, those were their uniforms in 1912. Like, no, they weren't. So I don't know what they are, Kevin.
The reason I ask, and obviously, I kind of didn't think you had the answer, is unless it is like an August 7th related thing, pulling it out against the Athletics is maybe the craziest thing you could possibly do. Like,
I think this stuff's set in stone, right? They plan this stuff in advance.
This is this is dumb. This is dumb. I agree with Gabe and Chris's information.
Is it a Friday home game thing?
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is. It is totally on him now in the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, back with you right here on SportsGrid on a Friday, August 7th. We've got W coming up. We have got baseball out there live right now. We're going to maybe see, again, some of these West Coast games. I think it's 15 minutes. They'll throw the first pitch in Washington for that Nationals-Reds game. So there's more to come. We're also, at that point in time now, Gabe, we're getting training camp buzz, right? We're getting all these big contracts getting done. And, it's funny to watch even with some of these contracts, the way narratives can kind of change. There was a while where if you gave a running back $1 you found on the street, you were seen as a dumb franchise. I mean, now you've got Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson resetting the market one after another. And I don't feel like there was as much pushback as there used to be because teams see, one, the value that those guys bring to their organizations, but also they're still making half the top-end wide receivers. And at the end of the day, is Jamar Chase double the value of Jahmyr Gibbs? Maybe, but Zay Flowers isn't. And I think that's part of the reason we've seen some of that conversation die down around these deals with Gibbs and Bijan again getting paid like they just did.
I look at it, I really do see both sides, Kevin, because even growing up as a kid, most of my favorite players were running backs, Earl Campbell, Walter Payton, O.J. Simpson, Joe Cribbs, whatever, running backs, right? And running backs were kind of the stars, and I always was bothered by the sort of modern or postmodern analytical that running backs are useless and interchangeable, etc. And I'm like, hey, really? Yeah, you think the Dallas Cowboys like would still win if Emmitt Smith like would with anybody, right? And or there's other examples, but I hate to admit, as much as I love Jahmyr Gibbs and as great as I think Robinson is, I don't. If I was a general manager, I wouldn't be paying the big money to these guys. I'd be more of the dude. I can find hungry kids out of college every year. You know what I mean? I got a running back in the 3rd or 4th round. It's as good. Like I said, Price might have a better career than Love in the end, right? You know what I mean? Like there's this. Depends on where you end up and stuff. And quite frankly, as good as they are, and good for them for making money, but as good as they are, Kevin, did it help the New York Giants having Saquon Barkley? Like, I think you can make the people that make the argument that you cannot take a running back that high. And then because you do, and then you have to end up paying them as well. And I think Gibbs a little bit of a different example because I don't look at Gibbs as a running back. I look at Gibbs as their best player. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he's the best one. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't care what letters are beside his name. He's the best football player on our team. I understand. Me, like, who would you rather pay? Him or Amon-Ra St. Brown? Hey, God bless Amon-Ra St. Brown. But whatever, dude. Mekhi Lemon is as good as you, and he's a kid now. Like, I don't want to be callous about it, but you're interchangeable, right? You really are. Look at the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker just won the Super Bowl MVP. They're like, yeah, good luck with that, kid. Have fun. We're not re-signing you.
But I think he's going to be incredible for Kansas City. So here's kind of the meat in the middle, Gabe. I would not draft a running back in the top 10.
Would you have taken Genty? Would you have taken Genty even raised? That was not the right pick for the Raiders. It was not the right pick.
If I was the Bears. Right? And the Bears were, if you remember that draft, were very, very connected
it's icing on the cake if you're already good, Kevin. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're already good. It's like, yeah, listen,
Christian
he's a
McCaffrey
good player. He's going to,
to the 49ers was worth it, guys, despite the fact he basically plays every other year.
Like Jeremiah Love doesn't, great player, but if I'm Arizona.
Will be fantastic, but him winning in Arizona is hardly a guarantee.
Like, so the Giants didn't win with Saquon, and I'm not blaming Saquon for that at all because the Giants are the Giants. So I'm not blaming him because
Atlanta haven't won with Bijan.
Atlanta hasn't won with Bijan. Detroit hasn't won with Jahmyr Gibbs. As good as he is, they haven't won. You know what I mean? Like, so Ashton Genty, like I said, I like Genty, but,
it's not.
Like I said, I don't want to sound too callous about it, but I lived in Hollywood, and the adult industry is there, and there was a saying somebody said. They said there's a girl, it's like the UFC. It's the same thing. The UFC underpay people because there's always going to be some kid from Iowa, some tough farm kid, or for some tough Russian dude that'll be willing to do it, right? It's like there's a girl that gets off the bus every 15 minutes from Iowa, all right, or wherever. Everybody wants to be a star. So it's the same type of, like, dude, you look at all the running backs in college, Kevin. I mean, who's to say that, Love is great. So is Justice Haynes. Like, you know what I mean? So is Jadarian Price. Like, so is Lacey. So is, like, there's a lot of really good college running backs, bro. Like, you can find these guys. Like, I think the better teams don't get roped into paying these people, I guess is my long-winded point.
I guess where I'm trying to like meet it in the middle, Gabe, is I would have no problem paying them. I would not draft them. Now the catch-22 is you basically only can pay
I don't want to leave. I don't want to lose Cook. I like Cook on the Bills. I want to keep him. I'm glad we paid him. But you're right. Like, because you get sucked in. Tight end's another one, right? There's certain, like, some of the cliches. We like to be contrarian. Oh, these guys, these old guys, or these guys, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, what do you mean you wouldn't take Saquon second? The guy's amazing. What do you mean you wouldn't take Bijan Robinson? Well, you got to build a foundation first. Detroit did that, though. That's the difference, right? When Detroit were really bad, they upset their fans at first, right? Their fans wanted, like, the Jamar Chases and, like, these other flashy guys. And what do? Now we're going to go with the Sewell guy, offensive lineman. We're going to build up, like, you start like Big Ten football. Chris Spielman was there, right? Like, how do you build a football team? Well, you start with an offensive line. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is if you don't have an offensive line. You start with an offensive line, and you start with a defensive line, right? Let's get draft Hutchinson. Like, you know what I mean? You stack up that D-line. You win in the trenches, And then the skill guys are like luxury items that you add after. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm already rich. I got a nice house now, but like, yeah, now I can afford that pool. You know what I mean?
That pool
is
your
that
take
star
on
wide
Jeremiah
receiver.
Love would be much different if he fell to 9 and the Chiefs drafted him, right?
Well, yeah, then I'd be betting him to be offensive rookie of the year.
No, but exactly. Like that really is the difference here with running back, and it's why Saquon Barkley to the Eagles or McCaffrey to the 49ers worked out the way they did.
McCaffrey. What the hell has he done? You pay him a ton of money to always be hurt.
But for the Niners, he's been – I understand they didn't win the Super Bowl, Gabe, but they went to the Super Bowl. He was, I think, going to win Super Bowl MVP in the game, despite the fact that I was betting Purdy to win it. I think, finished like top 3 in MVP, won Offensive Player of the Year. McCaffrey's fantastic. He wouldn't, if he was on the Panthers, I don't think it would add 4 or 5 wins to Carolina.
He was on the Panthers, and he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's why I said. Yeah, that's why I said.
Exactly.
Yes, that's why I used.
I know
Panthers.
what you mean. Yeah, I know. But like it's sort of like that's my point. Like, but yeah, it doesn't mean that we're not blaming the running backs for this. You're being a great running back. It's like being a great goalie on a bad hockey team, Kevin. Like, what can you do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm really good, but I have a bunch of people in front of me that are not. So, right. So like there's certain there's levels to it. There's quirks to it, but I think, like I said, I agree with your take. I don't mind paying a guy for being successful, and I don't believe that, like, I could get anybody to do what you do. I don't have that attitude, but at the same point in time, I could find somebody that does what Ashton Genty does in the 3rd round without, like, being on the hook to pay a running back like 6 when I have a crappy offensive line and no quarterback and no skill. Like, you know what I mean? It's just sort of like the logic doesn't like work.
I'm trying to see who went directly after Genty. Because I think Ashton Genty's great. The next pick was Armand Membu by the Jets, the tackle out of Missouri. A lot of people think he'll be an all-pro within the next 2 years. Would the Raiders be better off with an all-pro tackle? Yes. I think everybody, even Raiders fans.
Thank you.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I do have one more. I mean, I don't know about one more, but for the rest of the show, but I have one more NFL thing I wanted to throw Gabe's way because, he knows the player well. Stephon Diggs, obviously, very recently just signed with the Washington Commanders. And the other day, he said he would be the best number 2 wide receiver in the NFL this season. And Stephon Diggs couldn't help himself but say, I say 2 on camera, but in my heart, I'm going to say number 1. Stephon, you're the one who said it because you knew that was the right thing to say. Why did that change in 24 hours? I genuinely like the signing. I think he can be impactful, but how did he on his own, just don't say the number 2 receiver thing. If he would have said, I want to be the best receiver in football, I don't think anybody would have cared because athletes are irrational. Why did he immediately have to say, I want Terry McLaurin's job, I'm better than him?
Kevin, it would take a team at like a elite hospital in Switzerland of the top elite psychiatrists in the world to evaluate the things that Stephon Diggs says and does. He's a walking contradiction, right? Like you said, he's like, he'll say one thing and then 10 seconds later, and then you kind of want, then you're like, so everything else you're saying is just fake. Like you're like, you know what I mean? But like I said, I don't get people's personal lives, but like he's got a crazy one. Like him and Cardi B every day, bro. Like it's hard to keep up with these two. They're both insane, right? Like he's out there, right? I think the best thing like they could do is you try to keep the microphone away from him as much as possible. Like if he's one of these people, like he doesn't go out of his way, but if you ask him these questions, he's going to veer a bit. And Greg Cosell, right? I believe it's Greg who's been on the network before. I'm a fan of his work. Obviously does a great job with the breakdowns and stuff. And I saw his video of his analysis of Diggs to Washington, and it's pretty much what I said. He says Stephon Diggs can help any football team in the National Football League for 1 year. That's what he said, for 1 year. And that's sort of, and now we're almost to like, we're not even like, they haven't played the first preseason game yet. And he's sort of like, it is who he is. There'll be that moment, like it'll love him, right? Don't forget he's from there too. So it's a perfect homecoming. He's a Terp, so they're going to love him, but there's going to be that game, Kevin, or whatever, dude. He's going to walk off the field, or he's going to leave the room without talking to anybody, right? He's going to do a video in the locker room. I mean, look, Gardner Johnson already did it in Buffalo. He got right away.
He got
right
hurt
away.
The other day, I know that.
Yeah, but like one of the first things, he did a video in the locker room. And Brady was like, dude, I don't mind about your videos, but can you not do it in the training room? Like he was in the medical room.
Yeah.
Right? Like these you know what I'm saying? There's certain players.
Stuff is,
you
know
who
you can
you're
just
getting.
see what it is. Yeah.
You know who you're getting when you sign these guys. That's my point, Kevin. So Washington.
He was a big part of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and they very easily let him leave. Just Chauncey. I'm just saying. Just saying.
He's one of those guys that you want on you when you see him, you're like, man, he's annoying, but man, he'd be good if he's on our team. But the thing is with him, Kevin, he doesn't turn it off during the week.
Nope.
So he's as annoying to his own wide receivers and teammates in practice as he is to the opposition during the game.
It's
funny.
funny.
I mean? It's like, no, he's crazy, but he's just like that during games. It's like, no. He's like this 7 days. He's 7 days a week like this.
Like that's kind of one of the funny things, but I think he got along because Hurts is clearly, Hurts is a little crazy or something. But I think
Hurts has like that sort of like adult thing about him, right? That he's calm and like, like, people do
also
respect
think Chauncey
him.
was like trying to
like him.
I'm going to hit him. Oh, you get a real kick. You would get a real kick game. I'm sure you've seen some of it have you heard the Eagles catchphrase? I thought it was a Hurts thing. The whole team is now saying it's It's essentially 100% together, 0% entitlement. It basically translates to thank God A.J. Brown's gone. It's crazy. I thought it was just like a
they might
hurt
as well
thing.
be
It's
wearing
the whole
hats.
team.
Yeah, they've been no AJ. Like, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Entitlement.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, yeah, it's 0% entitlement is the end. It's like, oh, okay. Not hard to decipher that one, guys.
I can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm fascinated by that division, the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think the Eagles are really good, but I don't think they're invincible like they were in past years. I almost think of the Eagles as the Georgia Bulldogs, and I think that's fair because half your team, Kevin, are Georgia Bulldogs.
I was going to say, I mean, yeah, that'll always play. Yep, that'll always land.
Yeah. But you're almost like Georgia. It's like, same thing, like Georgia 5 years ago, I remember as a Michigan fan, I was like, God, we made the playoffs, but God, we're playing Georgia. Mm-hmm. Georgia beat us 49-7 or whatever the hell it was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a couple of years there, Kevin, where, like, no matter who you were like, we're playing Georgia. Right? It was like that. It's not good. Yep. Like, we're in trouble. It was like, oh, yeah, Georgia. It's like, yeah, they got 32 guys that are going to be, like, drafted in the first 2 rounds. Like, it's like they were literally like an NFL team. And it was too much. And then, but the Eagles drafted them all. so the Eagles drafted them all. And then Georgia are still really good, but they're not that, you know, everyone's scared of them now. They're just another really good team. And now it's like the guys that the Eagles got from Georgia, been around a while. They won, lost a little hunger, got some money. So it's like, yeah, the Eagles are still really good, but you're not viewed like the Rams coming into the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a question of can they actually put it. The Georgia stuff's funny because here's the funny thing with the Georgia stuff. There's more than people even realize because it's not like they all worked out, but they're still on the depth chart. Like there's like a third cornerback. They all went to Georgia, but look, the Eagles are talented. We'll see if they pull it together. We'll be right back up to the WNBA season. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think it's on the board. We don't talk enough about the Red Sox. Back with you guys right here on SportsGrid. They're up 5-0.
I bet on
bottom
them.
of the second inning.
I was saying earlier, if you guys are just joining us, that I love their green jerseys, so they should wear them more. They're going to win. Yeah, dude, what are they in their last, I saw a thing the other day. I think that it's literally, guys, it's not, I don't want to be wrong with this, but I think it's up to 30. I think they're 34-4 in their last 38 games or something stupid like that. It's not even funny anymore. It's not even funny anymore. 35-5, something crazy. And it was minus 130 on the run line tonight, but still, it's moderate.
You can
get the worst team in baseball.
Do I have the right date here? I think they're 31-5 in their last 36.
Dear God.
It's ridiculous.
So we have to talk about them as the biggest, they're World Series contenders, Kevin. How can we say they're not?
I agree. I agree.
And or the team to beat in the American League. How can we say they're not?
It's funny because they're third in their own division.
I know, but it doesn't matter. They're like you said, what are the odds makers telling us?
I think they're only behind the Yankees, I'm pretty sure. And they're only behind the Yankees in terms of American League.
Aaron Judge said this week, if you guys missed it, that I will be back this year, whatever that means.
Yeah. Well, I would think it means
September,
he'll be back.
I mean, mid-September.
I get what you mean. When?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, light activities he started right now. That just means he started working out, basically.
The Yankee stuff is, you could argue coming into this season, the three hitters they had the highest expectations for, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, none are available. They added 2 bats at the deadline, plus called up Lombard.
Yeah.
I mean, their starting
What's Lombard done since that opening night home run?
I think he's only played the 2 games, or is it 3 games now?
So he
didn't do much the next night. He didn't do much the next night. He had a hit the next day, Gabe. So he's right now.
Was he going to be in the lineup tonight?
Yeah. He's in the lineup. They moved him up to 7.
I just want to throw this out here. You look at the odds, guys. I see one book here, Bet365 for the Yankees plus 260, Red Sox plus 425. I mean, it's not even a debate what's the better bet, just from a betting perspective. I don't buy into the Rays. I'm like you, Kevin, I think. I mean, it's whatever, guys. You have these nice regular seasons, but you're not going to the World Series. The Astros are one of those you can never throw them. I can never dismiss the Astros, but I think the Red Sox are the best team at plus 425.
I was trying to figure out why was that the price. Here's the answer. Is the very, 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 very likely outcome is the Yankees and Red Sox will play.
They don't win a division, and they also don't win a division, right? So they got to play an extra series. Unless at this pace, though, they would.
But, maybe.
So one of them eliminates each other. You're saying they're on a collision course with each other?
Yes, because
what's the collision course? How do they break up not playing each other in the first round?
One of them catches Tampa. It's really the only way I could see it. Because
the way Boston is playing, why wouldn't Boston be the ones to win this damn division in the end? They can't just keep this pace up. That's why.
That's the problem.
That's what I brought
5 back.
Yeah. You and I talked about this 3 weeks ago, and I said, yeah, but they can't keep this pace up. Well, evidently they could, because they did. They did this going into the All-Star break. It was at 12 or whatever. Yeah. They lost, and then they lost a couple, but they started to crank it up again right now.
But I guess the thought is, Gabe. Now, here's the interesting thing. If Boston, which is beyond reasonable, they have the same record in the loss column, or same amount of losses. If Boston catch the Yankees, they'd be home for that wild card series, and therefore potentially be favorites in the wild card series. I think that's kind of the big. They're shading basically the Yankees having home field for that potential series, and with their pitching, they'd be favored in the series.
And think about this. Think about the potential playoffs that we have coming up, guys, and they're going to shut things down after because they're not happy. right? But at the same point in time, you think Manfred's going to be happy with the TV ratings that a Boston-New York Yankee playoff series would bring? Or a Chicago Cubs versus LA Dodgers playoff series going to bring, Kevin? They want it both ways, right? They'll boast about, oh, we got 25 million people watching. Yeah, well, 25 million people ain't going to watch the Rays play. They're watching Ohtani and Judge play.
The AL Wild Card as well. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live on SportsGrid. Great to be with everybody on a Friday night. It's Kevin Walsh. It is Gabe Morency. We're following along with the WNBA action. And at the end of the first quarter, the Mercury lead the Sun by 9 with 10 points on 100% shooting from Kelsey Plum. And we've talked about, you know, who would be interested and which teams could have been interested. And there's one team that we maybe didn't talk enough about at the time, but that now in hindsight, I feel a little confused, Gabe. Why didn't Las Vegas try and bring her back? They know she works there. They know how good she is. You could argue, have a spot for what she does based on the fact that, one, Jewel Lloyd came off the bench for a lot of last year and this year, and Kennedy Carter's no longer on the team, so they're missing that scoring pop. And you're looking up at this Lynx team who have been so dominant this year, but you're going to feel like you can beat them because you're you. But why not put the deck in your favor? Like, we talk about maximizing all-time greats in basketball, especially a lot, right? People say, oh, what a shame what Denver's done with Jokic, or that's why Giannis had to leave Milwaukee. And I'm not crying poor for Asia Wilson. Vegas is stacked with the defending champions. They're dynastic. But of all the teams we're going to say, Gabe, why didn't they do it? The Aces kind of stand out to me because they know Kelsey Plum better than anybody.
I can't speak of it, Kevin. I don't know the personal dynamics, right? As you stated, she was on this team. I don't know if it's a thing with Becky Hammond. I mean, they seem to be two very, very strong-willed women, right? I don't know, like I said, I've always gotten the feeling with Kelsey that, you know, teams or players that not, you know, that she's not one of them. You know what I mean? Like that she's just not. She kind of is in her own world. She doesn't live in the WNBA world. She comes and plays basketball, but I don't really get it. She's a baller and great we talk about the great acquisition for Phoenix. I understand the Vegas thing and that was epic last night, the Vegas game. But Golden State to me, Kevin's the one. Yeah. You've way exceeded expectations as far as fast track. You look at Toronto, you look at Portland, we suck, right? You look at San Francisco, they don't, right? And I think Nakat's, great coach, just a great coach, future coach of the women's team. I saw she was announced the assistant of the U.S. women's team. She'll be the future coach of that team. With the job that she's done with that team, you sell that arena out in San Francisco, you're making money. That whole, what did they end up giving up, Kevin? How many picks did Phoenix end up giving up? What was this whole Valkyries didn't want to mortgage the future thing? What did Phoenix actually end up giving up?
They gave up one first-round pick. The issue is, and this is where
you
I guess
imagine with Plum, though? Did they think, she doesn't fit their system, or defense, or what?
I think the issue is, and this is, I don't want to say it's Kelsey's fault. I don't think that's the right way to say it, but she's dead set on being a free agent. And I do think that stopped a team like Golden State being like, we're not giving up a first-round pick when you're not. You're basically saying you won't commit to being here, and also you might sign with us in the offseason, Gabe. Like if Kelsey's going to hit free agency, point too. Why wouldn't she go to Golden State? That market, those fans, she's the leading scorer day one. The defense
and the team
is
that they have,
her.
she fits actually already. Like you slide her in, and you have a score suddenly because they are good. They are good.
Yeah.
Thing with Phoenix, I watched them. I watched them play the other night, and they basically
this becomes a disaster for Phoenix.
They have like 5 players, Kevin. That's what makes them good, though. They have like 4 or 5. Like all their players score like 12 points on Golden State. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
but they don't have that one. Like, when we need a shot or we need points fast. They play defense. They're deep. You know what I mean? Everybody sort of scores 10, 9, 12. But, to take that next step. This is a star-driven league still, like all basketball leagues are, right? It's still a star-driven league. And, man, Kelsey, I mean, what was she scoring, Kevin, before she got hurt? Like 27 a game? She's only 31. She's in her prime right now. But I think it's a great point, as you stated. I think teams know, listen, she's a free agent. She's going to go where she thinks the best spot is, where the money is, etc. She's going to get a max deal no matter what, actually, right? She'll get that 1.5 mil or whatnot.
This is why the Phoenix stuff blows my mind, Gabe. Like, they really got no guarantee she's going to stay? Like a first-round pick for a 12 and 18 team at the time?
That's the thing. So that's the thing. If I'm Golden State and it's a first-round pick, it's a later pick. If you're Phoenix, it's a meaningful pick. You get a real player with the 5th or 6th pick in the WNBA draft.
I don't understand. Like, this is where, like, when we talk it out, I agree with you in that I don't know why other teams didn't land her, but I also can't believe what Phoenix specifically gave up to get her. Like, if everybody put a first-round pick on the table, Gabe, you trade her to Phoenix.
What about Chicago? Big market?
Why didn't Kelsey force her way to Golden State? Like, does she not know that that's what basketball players do? Like, you make sure you go somewhere that you can win. Like, I don't wonder. Like, she's a star. She has the leverage.
Did Nikasi not want her? Does she like the team that she has? Right? No, I don't.
Like,
it's you know what I mean? I don't want a star player. I don't want a star player.
Yeah. I don't need someone to walk in here and be like, awesome, you all play defense, I'll score the points. That's not what I want. Possible.
We got to dig in.
But we know they were interested. Actually, that's the problem. We know they were interested.
I was just speaking with someone in the WNBA the other day who covers the WNBA for real, is around players and stuff. I'm going to ask her, like, I'm going to send her a private message type thing. I'm going to say, hey.
Yeah.
Is Kelsey cool? I'm going to ask her. What's your interactions with her? What's the reputation that Kelsey has with other players type thing?
I think she's, it's interesting, Gabe. And like you said, we are kind of guessing. I actually think she's liked. Because again, she was on that Vegas team who were like a hub of the league. She was with other stars with the Sparks. She's with other stars now in the Mercury. And she's on that USA roster. Right?
Yeah. And she's a fun person, too.
USA roster.
She smiles when she plays. She's a happy player. You know what I mean? Like, she likes the game.
Yeah.
I don't, she's unique, though. Like I said, there's not a lot of, let's be real, there's not a lot of WNBA players that dudes like. Right? You know what I mean? Everyone sort of has their niche and their crowd and stuff. She's the one that, like, guys like a lot, right? Which is kind of like the opposite of what the WNBA market is. Like, not a lot of dudes are going to WNBA games because they think the players are hot. Right? Sophia Cunningham has blonde hair, and she talks, whatever. She knows how to sell. Like, she knows what she's doing. Like, she's going to have a big podcast after her, and she's setting things up. Right? Like, she's setting things up. She only scores 2 points a game or whatever, right? So, like, for a player that, but I'm just saying, like, Kelsey Plum, she's kind of on an island of her own. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, but again, like Gabe, like the thing is, you tweeted out that the USA roster. I mean, it's probably like the best women's basketball roster in the history of women's basketball. At the end of the day, if nobody liked Kelsey Plum, you just keep her home and bring someone else that you like.
Exactly. They would be like, no, Kelsey's a problem. She doesn't get along with people. It's not true.
I almost lean that that's not the case. Like, it's so, like, Gabe, you can see on Phoenix, I know you're watching the games, they look overjoyed that she's there. And by the way, guys, like the Mercury are not starless. Like, that's why them being so bad is bizarre.
This might have saved the Alyssa Thomas future for them, though, too. Because there was word that Alyssa was fed up and had enough. And was looking to move on.
I'm trying to even come up with a comparison of how bizarre.
I think if you're Alyssa Thomas, you're like, oh, now suddenly we're winning. We have a chance to win the games, right? It's different now.
Yeah. This would have been almost as if, like, the Reds acquired school to try and make a comparison. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
mentioned Google there quickly. I saw a report. I saw a tweet. Be careful when you see the tweets because a lot of things get misconstrued. It's all aggregation. But it was suggesting that the Tigers wanted Jesus Medey or Louis Pena from Milwaukee. And look, I'm just going to go off of the public rankings because let's not pretend that any of us watch AA baseball. Medey is the number 1 ranked prospect in baseball, and Louis Pena is the 18th. The Los Angeles Dodgers, right now in their farm system, have 3 guys in the top 20, as well as the 24th prospect. And yet, the first guy that was given up was Zahir Hope, who was the 25th. Now, people have said, no, they didn't want both Medey, and, they were just trying to see if they could possibly get him, and, Louis Pena, 18. Okay, I don't understand. All I'm saying is, I'm not trying to call collusion, but there's just something about this Scooble stuff that has felt weird to me, and I don't think you'll disagree, Gabe. Like, the amount of people who saw the deal, right, and were like, wait a minute, the Dodgers underpaid at the end of this? Like, that was a little surprising to me, where people have at least suggested the Tigers might have not taken the best offer. That feels insane to me.
It does feel insane to me as well. But at the same point in time, and as I get older, I'm less of a conspiracy theorist than I used to be. Just because people aren't smart enough to conspire to do anything. That's sort of my theory. It's like, so you think all these people are geniuses, They all conspired like the Ohtani wasn't him. Yeah, so the FBI collaborated and every agent and district attorney and everybody's in on this, right? To save Ohtani's reputation. But I do fully believe that there are a bunch of owners that need the Dodgers to win the World Series this year and want the Dodgers to win the World Series this year. The Dodgers don't win the World Series, their argument kind of blows up, right? And their argument is still there, their financial argument, blah blah, the big picture. But you know what I'm saying, Kevin? There's a lot of people who believe that you know what? They almost want the Dodgers to win. Teams are letting them win almost now. Just do what you want, take our players, because this is going to be our whole case in point to shut the league down. I can never get into a general manager's minds about when it comes down to prospects and stuff like that, Kevin, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of people did sort of wonder, really? That's all the Dodgers had to give up in the end? But at the same point in time, we talk about this all the time. Anytime there's one of these big-time players available, owners get scared. And there's really only a limited market. And it really goes to show, Kevin, how cowardly they all are, actually, and even general managers are, because if you were GM, Kevin, like in the Rays or something, wouldn't you say, listen, who cares? You know what I mean? If you're selling this to the owner, you'd be like, listen, sir, there's probably going to be a lockout shutdown coming up anyways. We won't re-sign him, probably, no. Mm-hmm. But we gave up the 38th best player in baseball who might end up maybe being good, you know what I mean? And we have a chance of winning now by bringing a player in like this. I can't help but think about Omar Minaya and the Montreal Expos, who used to be aggressive like this. They brought in Mark Langston. I'm going back a ways from Mark Langston, but they brought in a Mark Langston, right? They brought in Omar Minaya, brought in Bartolo Colon at the time. People are like, the Expos, you guys are going to be moving anyways. What are you doing? What are you trying to win for? It's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm trying to win now. I don't care. I'm not moving with the team. I think too many times, Kevin, general managers are too worried about walking into their boss's office. That's essentially what it is. You have to walk into the owner's office and sit down and tell them, I need you to cut a check for like $3 million or whatnot, because they don't want to ruffle the feathers, but they never win. Nobody ever does that rental anymore and says, screw it, we'll take the chance. If he does, you know what I mean? He doesn't sign with us, doesn't sign with us. I don't care. You know what I mean? And we know the players we're going to give up. no one takes
There
a
is
chance
no-
anymore, Kevin.
But I don't disagree.
Your
With the
Eagles
lockout
do.
looming.
The Rams do.
100%,
Like, there's certain
100%.
teams that are sort of
But Gabe, in
aggressive. Listen,
baseball,
there's a good player available. We're going to get him.
But in baseball, with the lockout looming, there is no team who is more likely to party like there's no tomorrow than the Dodgers, right? Like, I know we've talked about.
Yeah, their ownership will be off the hook for And
but
that's a
what
great
I'm
point.
saying.
Let me just throw this out here for all you fans.
They can
that
do
watch
whatever
this.
they
So,
want.
when they do this, guys, right? When they finally get their little cap through and all this, and the Dodgers are forced to spend like $250 million less a year on players. Do you think that they are going to lower ticket prices? Do you think they're going to lower any prices in the stadium? Like, do you think as a fan that any of this money is going to trickle down to you somehow? No. Like Kevin said. The Toronto Maple Leafs is the best example. The Maple Leafs used to spend like $119 million a year on players like 20 years ago, Kevin. They came in with their little salary cap, and they were like, oh, this is terrible. And behind the scenes, they're like, all right, we'll just keep the rest. I guess we'll just keep the money then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody really wants to win. Like teams like Scooble said, anyone could have traded for me. And honestly, that whole like, oh, well, the long-term stuff, whatever, there is no long-term with baseball. It's almost like the world is ending, so you might as well just have sex with everybody, like out of a movie.
Right, but
it's
that's
like,
what
the world's
my
ending.
point is, the Brewers and Rays are kind of selling, Gabe. We're going to enter a new world that'll be better for us. The Dodgers are essentially dying. The Dodgers basically got told, hey, listen, you've got 4 months to live. And then this party is up.
They'll still be the best team because they're better at prospects. They're better at drafting. They're better at developing.
Well, the
it's
problem
not
is
just
they don't
money.
ever actually, for the most part, they don't ever call up their prospects because they trade them. Like,
yeah, but
to be fair.
That's like selling stock that you buy. You still have to buy the stock first to sell it after, Kevin.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Back on SportsGrid, Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency. Let's update the Major League Baseball board here. Mets beating up on the Pirates 5-0. The Mets are like playing good baseball all of a sudden, which has to be torture for their fans. They just swept the Guardians. We'll see how long they keep it rolling here against Pittsburgh. Milwaukee have jumped all over Minnesota 4-0 in that game. I am on the over in Cardinals-Rockies, hoping for some runs here today in a game where Leahy's got the ball for St. Louis.
I like the Cards in this game.
Ryan Feltner
I like the Cardinals.
has the ball. I think Feltner gets lit up by the Rockies here.
Yeah, I'm on the Cardinals in this game. Has it started? It's just starting right now, isn't it? Yeah, top of the first
just
right
getting
now.
underway.
Although they did have runners on second and third, but they just got out of it.
Don't like that. I guess you like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
They just got out of it, yeah. But just for people just joining us right now, I am on the Cardinals here. Like you said, the delays, and I like some, as long as we're talking baseball, I'll throw up the late night stuff now because the show's flying by. Rasmussen tonight, going for the race. Speaking of the race, dude, this guy's just been like super money, super steady, like strikeouts, innings pitched. They win when he pitches. His strikeout prop tonight is 5.5. I think it's too light. Logan Gilbert's prop tonight is 6.5, Kevin. I think that's too high. I don't think he gets to 7. Tampa don't strike out that much, and it's not easy to get 7 strikeouts. You know, like Dylan Cease had a bunch the other day, but getting like 7, you got to last in the game, and you know you need a lot of stuff to go your way. You need the other team to like really be swinging and missing a lot. And he's not like some master strikeout pitcher. He's good. You know what I mean? Yeah, he had 10 in one of his games recently, but there's a lot of 5s, a lot of 4s, a lot of 6s, you know, I mean, that sort of mid-tier type stuff. I just think it's a little high for his number. And I think the number kind of speaks for itself here, how low it is. Give me the under in the game, Kevin, with the Rays and the Mariners.
Yeah, it's funny.
Under 7.
I was just hoping the hook would be there, but you can tell this thing's closer to actually being 6.5 than getting a 7.5. I agree. It looks like an under baseball game. The total is, as you said, super, super low for a reason. Logan Gilbert's been getting hit like a little bit in his recent starts, but that almost makes me like it more in terms of this total. You've got the Dodgers late night, Gabe, trying to snap this streak.
Skubal's been accursed. They haven't won since we've acquired him.
That's true. You did lose
and nice
the day
of Skubal
before,
to talk about how he's open to re-signing with Detroit in the offseason. Huh? Like, we just traded for you. See, it's a good thing, like, we've got thick skin, Kevin, in L.A., because I really don't care. That's what I'm talking about taking a chance. Like, I really don't care. Is that Skubal? I don't care, dude, where you sign after this.
Hold on.
Win in the playoffs. Win in the playoffs. That's it.
This is why, listen, and we were having fun that night when the deal happened and you were tweeting at me and I said better win, right? And you got, you're like, better win. You're like, what do you, right? I said it for the reason that if they lose following this deal, it's going to really bother you a lot more. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that you take Dodgers losses with a huge smile, but the school stuff changes it a little bit, especially if he's not good.
Yeah, it does.
Will become one of your most hated players in baseball.
But, but at the same point in time, this, like, I haven't ordered a Skubal Dodger jersey.
Of course not.
He has to earn it. You don't
like him.
He has to earn it. Well, now he's on the team. I welcome him. No, I never will.
Barely.
Even if they won the World Series.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if they won the World Series, I probably would.
Exactly.
Be a better chance to be Oscar than Teoscar Hernandez.
Watch this. Gabe, if they don't win the World Series and he's like, I'd love to come back with the Dodgers, unfinished business, you'd be like, no. We don't want this guy. He's a loser mentality. Get him away from my Dodgers. I'm telling you.
But same with Kyle Tucker. Like I said, jury's still out. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens in the fall.
You know what? You know what? Now you've got me thinking. Is there a Kyle Tucker gets a boost? Because now, like, the pressure's off him. Gabe, he hit a home run the Skubal start. How do we not think about this? Pressure's off. He's not the big signing anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Tucker gets to stink back into obscurity.
He would never say that. He would never say that publicly, but I guarantee you, he's having a glass of wine with his wife when that deal went through.
Dave,
Oh, yeah, it's a treat. This guy's good. He's going to be under a lot of pressure, right?
He's had a hit every single game since Google showed up.
He's like, ignore me. I'm not even here anymore.
He traded.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Back with you guys right here on SportsGrid. And I'm watching, a little of the WNBA here. And they're doing a thing for the Connecticut Sun I just saw called Sun Legends, where they honor players throughout this season,
They used to be
including
good too.
active players. So they just honored Alyssa Thomas before this game, which I didn't know was a thing.
Oh, because
That's
she's
weird.
she's a Yukon Husky too, right?
No, not because of that, Gabe, because she played on Connecticut for over a decade.
And a Yukon
I'm just-
Husky though too. I'm saying so it's a real homecoming here.
Nevertheless, it almost looked like they were going to retire an active player's number during the game, but let's
Oh, sorry, she
Let's
played
see
for
here,
Maryland. Who was it the other day that played for Yukon? There was an old school player, but
I mean,
but
all of them.
talking like Phoenix though.
Charles?
No, I'm talking about the Sun, not the Huskies. But Connecticut though, like Phoenix, used to be good, Kevin. Like in the early WNBA days, like they were actually good. Like they haven't always sucked.
Yeah. I
The
know. And
Connecticut Sun.
it just made it look almost for a second like they were retiring a number of an active player on another team, like before a home game. But that's not exactly what was going on. So it was throwing me off a little bit. That's all.
Oh, they've never won. I thought they won. They've never won. And they're moving to Houston, just for the record, too.
Oh, so that's why they're doing it. Okay, because they're leaving.
Oh, that's
So they're
it. Okay.
honoring
So,
all
yeah,
their
yeah.
legends. Okay. All right, so we cracked that code. Never mind. No issues with
There
it.
you go. So there, when I
40-32
brought it up to
Phoenix
Houston,
lead.
yeah.
There you go. 154
Kelsey's
and a half
at
live
14.
total. She looks
Kelsey's
great.
at
5 of
14.
7 from the floor. Mystics up 12.
I bet over 17 and a half for Kelsey. So nice start here. I'm a little upset with myself though, because I bet her over 1.5 3-point shots in her first 2 games. She was 1-1. She doesn't take a million threes though. Right? She doesn't shoot that much threes. She's good at it, but she doesn't force it. But she's 2 of 3 tonight. It was only 1.5 tonight. She's already gone over the number. But like Kevin said, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 5 of 7 from the field, 14 points for her. And we talked about it, Kevin. This Mystics team has to be started to taken seriously. Like they're a tough out right now. They're better than their cosmetic record looks because they're 10-5. They started off slow, but they're 10-5 straight up in their last 15 games coming into tonight.
The defense, though, seems to, right, Gabe, be like the turning point here for this basketball team. They play a lot of unders. 72
they've
first
held
half
them to
points
30
live
points,
total.
Atlanta only.
159 and a half. What do we need to get through that?
I brought it up
90
earlier
almost?
before the show, guys. I said, damn it, Golden State. Like everyone talks about Golden State's defense, but this Washington team, they got something going on here right now.
What do you think about this total? Any bite
I don't want to
here?
bet the over. No, I'm not chasing it.
I do.
I'm not chasing it.
I know I do, but I don't know if I should.
I watched the end of that Tempo Fire game last. I watched it all, but it was sheer pain, Kevin, at the end.
No,
sheer pain.
Listen, I actually, Gabe, don't think I've ever turned off a sport quicker than Cardinals-Panthers last night. Like, I didn't even stick around
after the game?
Was his knee down? The second he dove and I saw the sideline judge go arms up, it was off. It was off. Netflix was on. I was done. I couldn't. Not after the fever, because it just I was in such a good spot for so long. You know what I mean, too? Like, I bought the 1.5. Like, do you know how happy I was going to be if that game ended on a push? Like, that would have been so great. So great for the 1.5 to matter. Oh.
I was so frustrated after everything last night. I did a couple of very not smart things, unit size with the Minnesota Lynx in game. And there I was. It was late night. It was one of those weird nights. There wasn't a lot going on last night.
Yeah.
Like soccer, there was 2 games. You know, it was one of these weird lulls. I was like, man, the world, what's going on? There's a couple of Greyhound races. And I was actually in that, I can't end like this. And lo and behold, Kevin came on under 18 girls basketball from Australia.
You got to be kidding me.
No, and I swear to God, bro, it was like in a gym with 200 people type thing. And I had a video feed for it, right? So I was I watched the warm-up. I knew nothing about it. I watched the warm-up. And I'm like, these girls in blue don't look as good as the girls in red to me. So I'm sort of I watch it. And I'm like, all right, so I'm going to bet the over. But next thing you knew, dude, insane amount. So right? So I won. And I was all right. I just got a lot back there, of a lot of stupidity, but a total degen. I was like, oh,
you were
look,
right.
Australia.
You went to
I won. I won the in game. I won the side, and I won the total. I went 3-0. I'm good at instant stuff. I went 3-0. My problem was after a new round of soccer started, Australia Queensland action and whatever, dude. So I haven't done it in a while. I used to have a late night international problem, right? I haven't done it in a while, but I was in a chase mode last night. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I just nailed an Australian women's game, teenagers I knew nothing about. Let's start betting some soccer now.
Yeah, why not?
I won a couple, and then it just started to go bad, bro. One goal after another, bad beats, bad bets. Yeah, I bet a no run in the first inning of a Japanese baseball game. The total last night was 5. It's the lowest total I've ever seen. 5 for a baseball game. Chutney Dragons and Hasheen Tigers. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to bet the under 5. But I'll go no run in the first inning. So I bet no run in the first inning. They scored 2 runs in the first inning. The game ended 2-0.
Oh, come on.
But I didn't bet the under 5. Yeah. So that's what I was like. I came close to wanting to throw my phone at like 3, 4 in the morning last night. Like that, sort of like that anger. Like I was like,
that's bad.
Son of a. I kind of did, but I threw it into a bunch of pillows. They were like on the couch.
Yeah. Yep.
And throw it against the wall, but I was like, all right. And I sort of remembered. I was like, all right, dude. Because I was in that mode. I was like, what's next? I was like, all right, it's Filipino basketball starting now.
You were rolling.
Right?
You felt hot.
Yeah. And then I realized, I remember the saying, all right, dude, there'll be games in the morning, right? Like sports betting will still be there when you wake up. So I finally had to close the computer. I was like, you got to admit, you lost today. I get the old slam. I was like, it's not like losing, man. It's just really, you know what I mean? Like, if you break even, you lose a little bit. Like, if you have a quote-unquote bad night, the thing is, though, I should have had a good night, Kevin, right? It went from that, like, Haynes King comeback. I even bet the Panthers in game, was all this. But, to be honest, the CFL game got me last night. There was too many turnovers in the in game.
Thing with the total? We got to talk CFL in the next segment. You
got to 63. Ended at 63.
It's crazy, man.
Total was 68.5. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That is incredible. Yeah.
Nearly went to overtime, too. It nearly went over. But I'm going to surprise people. I'll just tell you what right now. I have not bet. I don't think, have I given an under in the CFL on this show this year?
You used the under in the parlay of the crazy game, the BC game with Caden Salter. Like, I don't know if you bet it straight, but you used
that's
it,
right.
I think, in like the teaser.
It did, but I was on the wrong side because I didn't think BC was going to win.
Yeah.
I'll save it for the other side, but it's a tough game tonight. Tough game. Let's rock.
We'll get to it.
20 minutes to kickoff. CBS Sports Network.
Before we get out of here, who knows? Maybe Gabe and I will cap the club-friendly slate. A lot of soccer on Saturday.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Uh-oh. CFL time.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will know.
Pre-game show's begun.
Famously,
Let's go.
Famously, I am an incredible CFL bettor with my, what do I say?
You have a player prop circled? Last time you stepped up, you got a player prop circled?
No. Now, I'll tell you what it is, Gabe. My process, that when I never pulled the trigger, you would say, hey, this thing keeps happening, and then I usually go, ooh, maybe we should go the other way. So Gabe just let me know Ottawa are 0-7. Immediately, I'm thinking, we got to be getting a lot of 0-6. 0-6. Okay.
But
I'm thinking we got to be getting a lot of points here.
3-3 ATS. 0-6 straight up, 3-3 ATS.
I've not done it, and I may not, but my first thought is to grab the touchdown and a half with Ottawa here. Let everybody know, what are you doing with this CFL game?
I don't think it's crazy, actually. Everyone's going to run to the window tonight. They're going to lay the points with the Rough Riders. I'll tell you right now, guys, the Rough Riders are missing like 6-7 players tonight. Like their injury list is long. Like they're literally missing 3 of their starting 5 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers. Like they have 1 regular starting wide receiver tonight. Like, so they don't have their starting running back. I think that one of their linemen is hurt. Don't forget, too, this is the team, their special teams captain died, right, in that accident that he caused. This is the first game they played since then. They played that emotional game, and they lost by 2 points on their home field a couple of days after. And they haven't played since. They've been on a bye week. But everybody's hurt for them, but they're good, right? They're the defending champions. They're 4-2 this year. But they're only 3-3 against the spread. They have a tendency of playing close games as well. As I said, you look at their games, 36-34. They won 38-7, but it was a quarterback that got hurt. It was a weird game. They already went to Ottawa, Kevin, and played earlier. They played about 4 weeks ago, 27-22. Right? Like if you look, you know what I mean? They lost 40-34. They won 40-37. They don't blow teams out. They are 4-2 to the over on the season, but I think I'm on to something, guys. And you guys know I don't bet a lot of unders in the CFL, but I think people agree with me. The total was 60.5. It's down to 58.5 right now. I think with all the injuries that the Rough Riders have on the offensive side of the football, it's going to be a lot of dink and dunk type stuff. They're going to run the ball. They like to run the ball as it is, kind of more than a lot of CFL teams do to begin with. I don't think this is sort of a track meet, and Ottawa keep getting into track meets and losing all the time, right? And Ottawa fired their defensive coordinator, and they're cutting people, Kevin. I think you're onto something, though. I'm not taking the 7.5. I think the Rough Riders will win a close one, and Ottawa will lose a heartbreaker again, but I wouldn't. I'm not laying the 7.5 points. I think you're on to something. And I think the under is the play, guys. I think the under is the play. Now, it's coming down a little bit, so it's bothering me that it's down to 58.5 right now because these points could matter. But I don't think it's going to get there. I think we got like a 31-23 game, or, 31-22 or 33-24 or something like that. Or right around the point spread. Right around the total, but it sort of stays under the number. Listen, a lot of these games, look, last night, man, you have 2 like super potent offenses. They went up and down the field. They only got to 63. You need a clean ride to get to 60 points in a football game. I'm not so sure this is going to be such a clean ride. And let's go with Quali Conley over 63.5 rush yards. That's the Rough Riders running back. Conley over 63.5 rush yards. Touchdown scores. Touchdown Tommy Stevens to get into the end zone. It's been hovering around minus 180, 190 all day. And you're going to like this name, Kevin. Keyshawn Johnson to score a touchdown. Wide receiver, too, of course.
Love that. Yeah. I cannot get
but
mad
it's
at
spelled,
that.
Yeah, it's spelled, though, K-E-E and then Sean. S-E-A-N Johnson. So Keyshawn Johnson. Yeah, wide receiver.
All right. We're turning
and not
the
to
clock
be confused with their other wide receiver, Johnny Johnson. Like I said, it's in depth.
Yeah. Look, it sets us up nicely. But Gabe, I really do think it might be the first time, like your favorite bet in one of these games is the under, right? And I think the nice thing.
Well, what I did, I
with
put it
this
in a parlay
league-
sort of teaser, same game, right? Like, look, Saskatchewan
Yeah.
Roughriders to win the game, under 68.5 is only minus 140. Come on. I got
Right.
some leeway. If I lose and I get to 69, I'm going to be mad, but it is what it is. But yeah, Roughriders to win the game, under 68.5. I actually don't hate Kevin's plus 7.5 with Ottawa just on a feel that he sees. Roughriders and the Vancouver Whitecaps, both just to win the damn game, minus 150 parlayed together. So Roughriders money line, Whitecaps money line coming up in the League's Cup later on tonight against Juarez. The game's in Vancouver. Tommy Stevens to score a touchdown. Keyshawn Johnson to score a touchdown. And Conley over 63.5 rush yards. There's my plays.
All right, so it sets us up nicely here with the CFL action from Gabe. Let's just try and quickly. What are you seeing right now in the WNBA, Gabe? Have these totals moved at all? I know we were both kind of a little interested with where they were positioned here. Are you seeing anything on that front?
It's 155.5 now. You know what? It is starting to pick up a little bit. It's 50-39 for the Mystics right now over the Dream, but they've scored 17 points. So I'm not really in love with chasing that. The Mercury are up 44-37. It's a low-scoring night tonight, Kevin.
Yeah.
Got 151 there. We're already midway through.
These Mystics games are really starting to be like great on the side, right? But total and prompts wise, they are playing these lower scoring games, and it's putting us a little bit up against the eight ball
in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it's a tougher handicap. My gut tells me over, but I don't want to force it.
I know.
Like
that's kind of how I feel. Like
What about the Valkyrie
range
game tonight? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
if you had to pick a side, it's a tough one, but you have to pick a side. I think Golden State goes in there and beats them.
See, I wanted to pick Dallas, so that doesn't make me feel any better about what I was thinking.
Dallas keep losing these close games.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. You know, we've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, back with you right here on Sports Grid. Let's get after just quickly live, okay? Washington up 52-41 on the Atlantic Dream. Angel Reese is 1-10. It's incredibly frustrating. She's the only player in the league where you see that and you're not confused, which is part of the reason, the conversation ends up sometimes the way it does. Gabe, he's in a good spot with his rebound prop. I'm in a not good spot with my point rebound prop. It is what it is. The hot start that I got in Phoenix, Connecticut's completely dried up, and maybe that's because Kelsey Plum has 14 points still. I don't really know how that happened. She had 10 at the end of that first quarter, but I can't really just blame Plum. It's nobody is really doing their part. And then baseball-wise, just like, hey, does anything kind of jump out on this live board? The Red Sox are just pounding the A's. So that just seems like it's going to go that way.
What are you doing with the Dodger game? Are they going to win tonight? Sasaki on the hill?
Can I tell you the issue that I'm having now? Is Sasaki truly back to what he was supposed to be just because they fixed his glove? Because it seems insane to me that it was that simple and that basically he does have unhittable stuff if you don't know exactly what's coming. But these totals, Gabe, the last four Sasaki
his last three starts.
7 runs, 3 runs, 6 it's all unders. It's all unders.
I know, yeah, exactly. But if you look at Sasaki starts, guys, the Dodgers have won his last 5 starts, number one. His last 3 starts, so since they changed the glove, he's given up 3 earned runs in 3 starts. He has 21 strikeouts. 5 2/3 a shutout ball. 7 innings of gave up 1 earned run against the Mets. Then he faced Seattle, gave up 2 earned runs, 5 1/3, struck out 7. Look at the strikeouts, way up though, Kevin, since the glove change too. You know what I mean? He used to get 2, 3, 5. Then the glove change, 5, 9, 7. I don't know. It sounds crazy that it was something as simple as that, but it's not just him though. But I trust him, and the market generally doesn't, but I do. But can the Dodgers come up with timely hits, right? Ohtani can lead the game off with a home run, or, the other day they were down 7-1. They scored 5 runs. They made it 7-6, and then they couldn't get that last one home again. They got to win a baseball game. It's getting real right now. I'm not one of these, chase, they can't lose again type of games, but this does feel like the Dodgers get it done tonight. But Arizona play well against LA, guys. Arizona, they're not intimidated by the Dodgers. They're, it's like Kevin talked about. It's like football in a division. Each other. It's yeah, everyone's scared of you, but we're not type of deal. But I think the Dodgers get it done tonight. But I like Rasmussen tonight on the hill for the Rays, guys, over 5.5 strikeouts. I like Logan Gilbert under 6.5 strikeouts for the Mariners. And I'm going to go with the under 7 in that baseball game tonight. And tough game with the Valkyries and Wings, man. I'm going to put Kevin on the hot seat and make him pick a side. I kind of get the feeling the Valkyries are the better team, and they're better in closer games than Dallas are. Dallas are so due to win one of these damn games. Mm-hmm. But Paige hasn't played great lately. I think she is going to put the pedal to the metal tonight. This is a big game for them. They keep losing these close games. I'm going to go over 3.5 rebounds for Paige Beckers tonight, Kevin. She's been rebounding the ball more, and I think she's going to get super. I think this is a big game for Dallas. That's why I don't want to fade them.
Yeah, I agree in that it feels like it's a big game for Paige, right? You're at home, you have to step up here. I'm a little tempted. Here's the problem, though. I sometimes worry that I feel like when we're live, either the Tempo or the Fever or the Storm are playing, and we just see these rocket ships.
It's
161.5 is it's a different sport, right? We
got the hard WNBA tonight,
lower.
Kevin. You're right. It's
Yeah,
like the NCAA tournament where there's certain teams Aces, Tempo, Fever. It's like right in our wheelhouse, right? We know a storm. Oh, Seattle's no storm. Yeah, bring it on.
Right.
Whenever I see these, I'm like, oh, I saw this tonight. I was like, oh, God, Atlanta, Washington, Connecticut games. I hate these games. Hate these early, weird games. All these low-scoring teams and weird teams and stuff.
Man, it's funny though, but sometimes, and Gabe will know this well, you get in that zone, man, I might just click over in all these 950 baseball games.
Phoenix has stopped scoring. They're stuck at 44.
Disaster.
I'd be looking to sell Louis Varland at this point just because his success has been great, but I'm also worried about how many more opportunities he's going to have given the dynamic of where the Blue Jays sit in the standings. We've heard some rumors that they may be wanting to trade Jeff Hoffman, and it could open up a lot of opportunities for Louis Varland, but there's also nothing pushing the Blue Jays to continuously have out a great player when they're fighting for nothing when it's all said and done.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.